Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm gonna be doing a review for Gotham, episode 1, season 2. So yeah, it's returned this past Monday, and the first episode is called "Damned If You Do" or "Rise of the Villains, Damned If You Do." So yeah, it seems like the first three episodes are gonna have a arc, I guess. I mean, this is going to be a story arc, but it seems like the first three episodes are going to focus on a more specific story arc because the first part of all three episodes are Rise of the Villains, colon, and then the actual title. So, yeah, this one is called Rise of the Villains, Damned If You Do. So yeah, before I begin though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually watch this episode and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out and then come back and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual starting now. So 10 seconds are up, so for those who have yet to actually watch the episode and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me, then never give you fair warnings as usual. I did. So as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate. So yeah, basically in this episode, it starts off with Gordon getting fired. It seems like there's been a time skip of a few weeks from what it seems, and you have Gordon, Commissioner Gordon. He's basically been fired for inappropriately touching another officer. However that works out. Basically, you have this guy called Zordon, who was basically being a threat to society. He was trying to shoot at people. He had this giant blade sword, and Gordon he manages to do make stop him, arrest him, and I guess his partner who was there at the time because
It's 6 o'clock.
because they took out what's his name? They took out the other officer. I forgot his name. Fuck. I forgot the other officer. His partner from season 1. They took him out. Like he's still in the show, but he's no longer an officer anymore. Um, can't believe I forgot the name. Harkey? No, it's not Harkey. Fuck. Bullock. Harvey Bullock. That's what it was. They kind of took out Bullock, made him a bartender. We see that later in the episode. But basically, it starts off with Gordon getting fired. And basically he pushes this officer, like this, why'd you do that? Like you should have been here, have my back type of situation. This officer complains, saying that he was touched inappropriately, and Loeb fires him. And basically it's now Commissioner Gordon trying to get back into the force by doing something he really doesn't want to do, and basically goes talks to Bruce Wayne for a second, saying he basically goes to Bruce Wayne's house for a second, saying, sorry, I couldn't keep my promise, and the only possible reason I could keep this promise is if I do something bad with the Penguin, if I basically collect a debt for the Penguin. And basically Bruce's answers really adult, and it's typical of Bruce, to say something like this. But for his age, because he's like 14 at this point, it's really an adult answer, I guess I want to say. Because he says sometimes in order to have to do good, you need to do a little bit of bad, and that's true. In order to sometimes when you want to do good, you sometimes have to do a little bit of bad. Obviously knowing Gordon who he is, he doesn't like doing bad. He doesn't really like to do that much bad stuff. But he does it, and it really goes wrong because originally it was just collect the debt, maybe not kill, but maybe stop a couple of these criminals from doing anything, and that's it. But he ends up killing like two or three of the one or two of the criminals. Sorry, he ends up killing one, maybe two of the criminals, and that kind of really begs on it. Like that really stays on his conscience. And eventually, he is brought back in the force because Penguin basically terrorizes the shit out of him. Him and Victor Zsasz. Victor Zsasz is fucking hilarious. Him and Victor Zsasz just basically terrorize the shit out of Loeb. Saying that if you don't do this, you're basically gonna die. And we've taken out all your guards, so do this or you're gonna die. Resign and give Gordon back his job. So there's that. And then on the flip side, you have Barbara Gordon, who may actually be a character this season. Not because last season she was barely there, and when she was all just complaining and shit. Up until like the last few episodes where she became kind of mentally unstable. And then here it seems like she's actually going to become a character, like an actual fully fleshed out character in this season. I mean, you start off with her talking with Jerome, which is possibly the Joker for this show. Maybe not. Who knows? But he starts off talking with Jerome. She's talks with the mask, another guy who was a mask. She starts talking to these three other convicts who are who are in Arkham, and she's basically got her crew. She's like the beauty queen, and here's her posse. And then Zordon, he's brought to Arkham Asylum, and I guess whatever they gave him to make him crazy, because the main villain gave him something to make him crazy, and he basically passes out. This blue gas comes out, and everybody in that perimeter is knocked out. And you have, I guess, this Tigress character. I believe that's what they're calling her. Tigress comes in, kidnaps Mask, Barbara, and Joker, and the three other criminals that are with them, and they're taken away to basically be experimented on. And basically, the way it kind of felt to me is like, are they going to be the Suicide Squad for Gotham? Because Arrow just kind of recently did that. They had an episode, like 1 or 2 episodes of Suicide Squad in the past season 3. So I mean, would it make sense? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, then again, there could be other Suicide squads, I guess, or sections of the Suicide Squad. Because, for example, you have like Justice League, then you have Young Justice, for Young Justice League or whatever, New Justice League or whatever, like the Avengers. You have the Avengers, West Coast Avengers, Young Avengers. You have like different teams. So I guess, and by that logic, it would work out. And yeah, and who knows what's gonna happen. Overall, though, it's a pretty good episode. It didn't really start off with a bang, in my opinion. Like the first episode for the first season started off good. That one started. I want to say that the first episode for the first season started off with a bang either, but I did think it was a bit more interesting here. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's a filler episode because it's not really filler, but it kind of just seems like a more typical episode that you would get towards the middle of the season. It really didn't really feel like a premiere. I mean, you had your moments where it felt like a premiere, but throughout the whole episode, it was kind of like, this is happening. It's pretty good. The writing and the acting are still pretty good. I still like that gothic kind of environment that they have. Well, it's not really gothic, but it's like dark and brooding environment. Graphic, gothic, and it is typical for Gotham to look like that. All dark and gloomy and stuff. So that's pretty good. Penguin, pretty good as. He had a couple scenes there, pretty good. The one with Victor Zsasz was pretty good as well. He was trigger happy. And it does seem like we are going to see a change in characters. Barbara Gordon, she's actually becoming a character right after the first episode here. Really surprising. Really happy to see that. Gordon, it seems like he's going to start doing some darker stuff as his career goes on as a cop. So that's going to be interesting. You have Harvey Bullock, who's a bartender, and that's interesting. He's been sober for 30 days because remember he's a heavy drinker or was. He says he's happier now. He has a girl. He has an actual life now. He has a business, a successful business, a woman, a good life. So he doesn't really want to give that up. But I do feel like they will eventually bring back Bullock. I don't think he'll ever return to being a cop, but I do think we'll see him in like scenarios where he has to shoot at people or something like that. I think we will see scenarios like that. And then you also have Bruce Wayne, who is able to open the Batcave or whatever or the first part of what will eventually become the Batcave. So that's also pretty good too. Overall, pretty good episode. Not the best, not the worst. It's more like an episode that you would see somewhere in the half of the season. That's the best way to describe it. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. Pretty good episode as a whole. And yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below on your thoughts on the episode. Have you seen it? And if not, why not? And if you have, what are your thoughts on it? Comment on that down below. Let me know. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.